The title of this audio is The Societal Man. When I was born, I was born free. I had no name, I had no sense of the world. I did not look forward to anything. I wasn't going away from anything and I wasn't running towards something. I was I was free. And the reason I was free is because I wasn't really aware that there is such a thing as me, जिसकी मेरे को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी पड़ेगी. As I grew up, I had no choice but to be a part of a subculture, the culture that says this is your name, this is your gender, these are the subjects, these are your friends, these are your morals, these are your goals that you have to achieve, these are your parents, these are your. This is the world. This is life. And while life unfolded and I became a part of this so called life that I was told, I became so lost in competing and quote winning and outbeating everyone else to quote achieve my goals. I totally lost the freedom that I once had when before I was exposed to the tenets and subcultures of society. And then there came in competition, and competition made me fear not winning that competition because competition is everything. Competition in uh, looking a certain way, being a certain way, XYZ. And the basis of that competition was if you compete and win, you'll feel good, and if you compete and lose, you'll feel bad, and good people get rewarded by pleasure and bad people get punished. And for the rest of my life, I started to naturally, it became so close to me that my entire life, from the moment that I woke up till I sleep, was to go towards winning slash feeling good and to not feel bad. And no matter how many quote wins I had, the pleasure of it lasted for a few seconds to a minute until naturally, without even my consent, my mind told me what's the next pleasure that I have to satisfy. And if in case I had a bad feeling from not winning, uh, the pain tormented me and made me anxious, which manifested itself as quote hard work to satisfy my pleasure. And so on and on and on, my life became an endless race to feel good or to not feel bad. And even if I felt good, the pleasure came, it went away for a few seconds, and then the compulsion to satisfy the next urge came in. And I realized that no matter what I do in this life, no matter how elaborate the win and prize might be, no matter how huge the promise of the reward of the win might be, the reward of marks, money, looking good, being healthy, being in a relationship, it would not last. And that made me reflect back as to why is this the case? Why is it that nothing lasts? And I couldn't really get an answer, but all I know is that there is nothing that is going to last. And I have my 23 years of experience that has shown me that. And if it did last, if the pleasure did last, I would not be seeking out for the next pleasure because the previous one would have sufficed. So, what I want is what I had access to as a child, which I would say was freedom. When I didn't really have the concept of I have to get the next pleasure. And what I have realized, in order to get back to that childhood state, not because it will give me another dose of pleasure, but because that will perhaps stop the search for all the pleasures that I have been conditioned to seek from the world. And upon this realization that no matter what I do, it will not fully satisfy me, I have realized that living in this world and living in this society and going as per what the society tells me to be, no matter what it expects of me, I simply will never be fully satisfied. And that is something that is the fundamental driver for me to not play the games of society. And even if I have to for my survival in the form of making money, I will be doing at an arm's distance, knowing perfectly well that no matter how elaborate the reward is, it is simply not going to suffice.